All right, Shine Sisters. This is our time. This is our time to shine right now. So many crazy things are going on in our nation. But you guys, do you remember that during the Great Depression, Mary Kay, she studied what went on during the Great Depression before she started this business in 1963. And there were three things that continued to sell: alcohol, tobacco, and cosmetics. And in 2008, when we had an economic downturn, there were four things that USA Today said continued to sell: alcohol, tobacco, cosmetics, and lottery tickets. And so guess what? You're in the right industry right now, because no matter what's going on in the outside world, women are not giving up our lipstick. We're not giving up our eye makeup remover. We're not giving up our hydrating. In fact, right now, women want to feel that pampering. And so I am so excited to come to you tonight with the leaders from our future national area, Rosie Kane and Katie Harris. They are a powerhouse group, and we have got some fantastic information that we want to share with you all tonight. So welcome, welcome, welcome. So first of all, we're going to go ahead and get started. Katie Harris is going to share with us a little bit of information. I want to tell you that tonight our main focus is sharing with you why would we share the Mary Kay opportunity right now, and some new ways how to do this to really dig deeper with people and find out who they are and what they desire, rather than just spewing a bunch of Mary Kay information about this is how we make money, this is, you know, this is what we've got. You know what I mean? Instead of just vomiting the Mary Kay information, we're going to talk about how to dig deeper with people and find out their desires. And so I'm really excited about this. We'll also talk about overcoming objections. And so, you know what? It's okay if someone says, you know, objects. In fact, it's okay to expect that and move on from that, because we want to make sure that everybody is really, really educated about this Mary Kay opportunity. The people that we ask about the opportunity to listen to the facts about Mary Kay, usually about 1 out of 4 will say yes, that we share the opportunity with. So you guys, it's okay if you have someone that maybe you think that they would never do that. That's okay. It's kind of like offering someone a stick of gum. If you have 10 people in a circle and you're all standing there, would you just look at the person that you think might want the stick of gum? You say, would you like some gum? Well, what about the other people? That might hurt their feelings. Offer everybody a stick of gum. Whoever wants the gum will take it. Whoever doesn't want the gum will not take it. And so leave the opportunity, or leave that decision up to them, of course. So, but we're going to hear more from these amazing leaders. Let's go ahead and kick it off with Katie Harris. Katie's going to share with us why now. Why do we think we should share now?
All right. Awesome. Thank you, Jana. So first off, I just want to tell you, I've been scrolling through who all's on this stinking call, and there are so many ladies on this call. I'm so excited. Thank you guys for taking some time out of your isolated day to join us tonight. And okay, so when Jana and Rosie and I talked the other day about what we were going to share tonight, I got really excited about this because I always think that there's a great opportunity for recruiting. At a party, at a career coffee, on the phone, I made a promise to myself not long ago in my business that I would never have an appointment and not offer the opportunity to that other person or to those other 10 people or however many it was. And I tell you what, it has blessed my business and myself and my heart. So more than I can say. So why are we doing it right now, though? I mean, we know, many of us know, and maybe not all of us, so I'll share a little bit about why we even share the opportunity. Mary Kay Ash, who is our founder and the leader of this company, or previous leader of this company, she told us to give it away as a gift. She challenged us, you know, this has been given to you, and you're not supposed to keep it to yourself, because the reasons why you love Mary Kay, it could be the reasons why other people love Mary Kay. They might not tell you. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I don't think I've ever had somebody walk up to me and say, you're a Mary Kay beauty consultant. I want to do the same exact thing as what you're doing. They don't know what they don't know. And so we are asked to share that with them. We are asked to just open our heart a little bit about our business, and about what we do, and share it with them and see how it's received, and see if they could fit it into their life. Because you know how amazing this business is as beauty consultants, and you know how you fit it into your own life. Don't take that away from the other person. Meaning, there's a lot of assumption that can go on. Oh, well, they're too busy. Oh, well, they don't have enough, money, or, their husband might not support them, or their family probably won't buy for them. These are all examples of things that I have thought in my own head about either people that are currently in our unit or people that I've interviewed before or never thought to interview. So I want to challenge you right now, whenever you think about a new team member or a prospect, and then you start to have these thoughts creep into your mind about the assumptions of their life, cast that out immediately. That's not our job. We are not asked to make those decisions for them. All we are asked to do is offer this opportunity to them. So why are we doing it right now? I was so excited to talk about that because I can't tell you, I've cried I'm just gonna be real with you guys, okay? I've cried every day of this isolation. It hasn't necessarily been pretty at my house every day. And it's not necessarily because of the season of life that I'm in. It's because I am an introverted extrovert, and my extrovert is really, really hurting right now. And having conversations with toddlers doesn't really count as human interaction, although they believe that it does, and maybe it does to a point. And they're very wordy. But besides all of that, why are we doing this right now? And the reason why I bring up the crying is because I know I'm not the only one. I know I'm not the only one that's suffering. I know, and I have a great business. I have a small business that I'm still running from the comfort of my home. Not everybody has that right now. A lot of people have been furloughed, have been laid off, have been fired. The gal that babysits for us, she works part-time at Pier 1, and Pier 1 decided on Sunday, I believe, to close all of their doors because they had already filed for bankruptcy. And so she's out of a job other than what I can offer her as far as, watching my kids goes. And I'm limiting that for obvious reasons. And so I feel for her. And I'm going to do a virtual pampering session with her and her mom. And we're going to talk about Mary Kay because she's 21 years old. And why not? Why not? Her mom works for a company here in town where everybody's working from home, but they have a lot of free time. People can fit this into their lives, especially right now. And hearing the success of these virtual pampering events, and even if you send samples through the mail, there's so many different ways that you can work your business right now. Another reason why we should be recruiting right now, because people before the isolation was happening, people were suffering from loneliness and disconnection and depression. And I'm not going to tell you, I'm not saying that Mary Kay is a magic pill drug. No, not at all. But it can fill a void. It can meet a need. And I make sure that at every appointment that I have, whether it's virtually or in person, but especially in person, that they understand, that the people on the other side of the table understand how much this has changed my own life and how much it's changed the lives in my family, and how much it's going to change our future. And it was all because of a decision that I made 8 years ago. So I've been contacting my team members, my unit members. I've been talking to them, checking on them. I see some of you. You're all so pretty. Making sure everybody's doing good, because this does not discriminate. You know what I mean? This isolation, this quarantining, we're all in it together. It doesn't matter. I was reading something today. It doesn't matter whether you're a celebrity or whether you work at Walmart or whether you work at, a law office or whatever. We're all affected by this. And we can be a bright light. We can be a bright light in a dark place. And just touching again on when I was talking to my sitter today. And she's like, I just have no idea what's going to happen. And there's so many people that are making decisions that can further this virus. And we were just kind of going down a bunny trail of negativity. And I decided to kind of bring us back. This is not going to last forever. And if you talk to people now about how they can work their business now, how empowered will they be to turn around and work their business when we can be face to face again and touch people and be physically in front of people? Because I'm not going to lie to you guys, I've literally done one virtual pampering session ever. I love the human connection. I love being able to be in front of people. But isn't it so amazing that we can pivot and move to face to face? So I think that whomever comes to mind over what I've been talking about, because I've had several people just come to mind as I'm talking to you, but whomever comes to mind, I want you to write them down. If there are women in your life who maybe they're a teacher, or they're a stay-at-home mom, or that they lost their job, or whatever it is, maybe even a nurse, someone who's on the front lines, maybe don't get together with them obviously right now, but send them a pampering pack in the mail. Reach out to your people and then say, I just want to know if you might be a part of a training call with me. It takes about 15 to 20 minutes. We talk about the facts about Mary Kay. I share with you a little bit about my story. It would be really helpful for training for me. And I just wanted to see if maybe you'd have some time to do that. Because guys, there are lots of people streaming shows on Netflix right now. And clearly I've heard cleaning lots of places that they haven't cleaned in a while. People are finding things to do. Why can't we have that connection with them and talk to them on the phone or do a video call with them and just talk to them about Mary Kay? Such a time as this. There's no better time than right now.
Thank you.
That's really all I had to share.
Amy, that was very powerful. And you guys, it is the truth. This is the time. There are, people have time right now. And as a business owner, we have control over our business. And, we can be doing a lot of different things. Some of you might have, a full-time job. You do this on the side. But a really wise individual taught me once that it's important to have several different avenues of income. And you guys, it's so important to have choices and flexibility prior to you ever needing it. I'm so thankful that I have my Mary Kay business prior to this event happening in our world. And so there are events that have happened in my life in particular that, family members have been sick, tragedy has happened. I've had to leave at the drop of a hat. And I've never had to worry about, since I've been my Mary Kay boss, I've never had to worry about who I need to report to. You guys, it's unparalleled. And by the way, we don't have a circle of women sitting around in fear talking about, oh my goodness, what if this? What if this? What if this? We've got a group of women supporting and loving one another, because that's what leaders do, and that's what champions do, and that's what women that desire a positive tribe. And that's exciting to me. Okay, so you might be thinking, well, some of our distribution centers have been closing. Why would I do this now? Why would I invite someone to join this organization and then what if she doesn't even get her starter kit? Well, at this point, you don't have to worry about that because there's 2 distribution centers open. However, let's say they closed both tonight. This is a perfect opportunity for them to, when they start their business, they get their independent beauty consultant number. Okay, that gives them access to Mary Kay in Touch. They can go on and do Skincare Confident. They can go on and do Color Confident. They can get on and do Mary Kay University. They can get the Great Start app, and they can start watching all of the videos on how to do parties. They can get on and start checking out all of our virtual tools that they can start utilizing right now. They don't have to have the starter kit to get people excited about the products, you guys. They can get their website set up. There is a learning curve in this business, and some people do it a lot of times. We encourage you to learn while you earn. But you know what? If you've got girlfriends that they need stuff right now, they can be learning and they can get this business rolling. And then, the training, like Trista said, the training is so amazing. So many people miss out on it. And so, by the way, if you're cleaning closets and you're disinfecting stuff that doesn't need to be disinfected, I would encourage you to retake the courses. Trista just said that. So she says she has retaken the courses and it's been so helpful. So, you know, take the courses yourself, but don't hesitate to get people excited about building their own Mary Kay business and having a plan B in place before they ever need it. Okay, now we're going to hear from Rosie. She's going to share some amazing training with you. Rosie, take it away.
Hi, everybody. Hey, it's really good to see everybody. I mean, literally see everybody. I have you all like in a grid so I can see you all at once. So if you're doing something while I'm talking, I'm going to catch you because, you know, teachers not only have eyes in the front of their head, they have them in the back. So even if I turn around, anyway, I'm really glad that you tuned in tonight. What I'm going to talk about is from a director that gave some training on an unlocked call, and it was really good. And what I like about it is that it's so transferable. I think, you know, in the past we've done career talks and we've done them the way, you know, we thought was best. But now we have this tool that when I show you how to do this, you're going to feel empowered to take this same thing and do the same thing that I'm going to do. And I think that will give you a lot of confidence. And I think it's going to be a very effective tool for you to use. So if you had a chance, this was the paper that we put online. This is the part we're going to be talking about mainly when I'm talking. But the lady who gave the training, she had made a promise to herself that as a director, she would never ask her unit to do something that she had never herself had done. And so she was going to teach them about this type of recruiting using this sheet, but she had never done it. And so remembering her promise, she got a hold of I think it was 5 women, and she offered them, in this case, she offered them something from the new spring line. I don't know if it was an eyeshadow, you know, the liquid eyeshadow. She offered something. And basically she just called and said, hey, I am going to be doing training with my unit, but I need to practice on somebody. I know that you Mary Kay is not your thing. You know, you love the product. I know you don't want to join, but would you help me? And the key words, would you help me with this training? And so she did find 5 people to help her. And she said what she did is get her in front of the product. You want to have product in front of her. You want her to be excited about the product. She may be somebody who's already on the product. She may not be, but her bait, I guess, was kind of having those spring products there. And we know that they're just a lot of fun. So, so that's what she did. And so she used this paper, and I want to just point out a couple things. I want you to look, I don't know if you can see real well, but it's a group of women and they're kind of a diverse group. If you notice they have their arms linked, I think that's very powerful to have their arms linked like that. And then around the women, I call them bubbles, circles, whatever you want to call them. And within each bubble is a gift that comes with the Mary Kay opportunity. Okay. So this is kind of how she led the conversation. You know, she said she put the sheet down in front of them and she let her see the gifts in the bubbles. And this is kind of what she said. She said, you know, I'll just use Trista. You know, Trista, most women begin their Mary Kay business for extra income, but they quickly find out that there are so many gifts that come from this opportunity. And I want you to go ahead and look at this picture. These are some of the gifts that come from the Mary Kay opportunity. And guys, when you're doing this, the objective is to find what moves her heart, okay? And you want to ask her, which of these 3 things do you value the most? Which of these 3 things do you value the most? And then here's the most important part. Don't talk. We talk too much. That was very much emphasized, and I'm totally guilty of that because I like to talk. Ask her what her 3 things are, and then don't talk. She does recommend, if you're sitting face to face, you know, you're actually meeting in person with her, that you as the whoever's doing the recruiting, you're holding the pencil, she's reading, and she's pointing to the ones, you know, that she thinks are the most important. So you're kind of circling them yourself. If you're not in person, obviously she's going to have to either star or circle them, the ones that she values the most in her life right now. And so for each answer she gives, you want to say after, she's done, tell me more about that. And that's where you're digging a little bit deeper. Okay. And then listen again, be quiet and listen to what she has to say. When she's done, ask her, if you were to start your own Mary Kay business, what would be your biggest question you would have about each one as it pertains to a Mary Kay business? You would do that one by one. Okay, so if she says, I think that financial security, is of value to me right now. Dig a little bit deeper about that. If she feels like having a positive community tribe is a reason, or is something she values, dig a little bit deeper on that. And then what you want to do through that is connect how Mary Kay can provide that for her. So you're going to kind of marry those two together. And here's kind of an example. So let's say somebody says that she wants to make a change in her community. A lot of people, everybody wants to make a change in the world. And I'm not trying to be flip about that, but that's kind of a big deal. Everybody wants to leave some type of a legacy, I think. Let's say she says she wants to make a change in her community. Well, something she can do with her extra money. Maybe she doesn't need extra money, but she doesn't have the extra money to make that change. Maybe with that extra money, she can give money to a cause that's near and dear to her heart. That would be one example. If she says positive community or tribe, dig a little bit deeper there. She may work in a place that's really negative, doesn't have positive relationships with her coworkers. That's where you find out this stuff. In one example that this Karen gave, she said this lady already had a side gig, and I can't remember the company, but the company, she was already earning extra income, but the company was all online. And she loved the money, but she missed the relationships with other women. And so one of her things was she wanted to have a pause. She just wanted to be with other women. She wanted that companionship. She wanted the friendship. And that was what was important to her. Okay. So, Jana, do you want me to talk about these other things, or do you want to wait on that? You're muted.
Yes. Which things are you referring to?
Well, I'm looking at the one sheet that, I've already said that. Place a star or check in front of the 3 circles that you value the most in your life right now. What's your biggest question about them as it pertains to a Mary Kay business? And if you were to start your own Mary Kay business, what do you think you would enjoy the most? And then later on this sheet, it asks, basically she's describing herself. And we've used this before. Describe yourself if you're results-oriented, people-oriented, whatever. So I know you're going to talk later about the 1, 2, 3, 4. So I didn't want to get into that yet.
Okay.
So
yeah, that sounds good.
Okay. Well, what we're going to do right now is we want your feedback. So I'm going to kind of facilitate this a little bit, and we're just going to look at each bubble, and I just kind of want to know how you would respond to each of these bubbles. So I'm going to pick on Jana first, just because I want to show you what we're doing. So Jana, if a person would pick personal and professional growth, she values personal and professional growth, how would you tie that into the Mary Kay opportunity?
I would just say for, the personal and professional growth, I have grown so much personally because through my Mary Kay business, I've challenged myself, and there are challenges that the company puts out there that really help us grow, because it helps us maybe think outside the box, or it makes us look at things from a different perspective, or we push ourselves. If we want to reach a certain platform in the business, then we sometimes have to learn something new. And a lot of times that's something about ourselves. And so that has been my experience with the business. And I love that I have grown. My faith has grown, and my paycheck has grown as I've grown in my Mary Kay business and moved forward. How's that sound?
Very good.
Very good.
Thank you. Okay, let's go with this one. Financial security. Who wants to address financial security? How would you, in your talk with somebody, that's probably one of the most easy ones, because most women do start because of the financial reasons. But how has Mary Kay business impacted you personally that you could address that with someone you're potentially recruiting? Who wants to take that one? Don't all volunteer at once because I'll start picking on you. So
I can talk about it. I what I would say about financial security is having multiple streams of income seems to just be very smart in this day and age. So why not have one like Mary Kay? I know that with my own business, it's allowed us to start saving money, and we hadn't been saving, like the first 5 years of our marriage, we didn't save any money. And that is hard to admit, but it's the truth. And my business has allowed us to do that because we've been able to pay down debt and then put away money. So I feel like we are so much better. And it's not that necessarily all of my profits from Mary Kay were putting, that's the only, reason why, but it allowed us to have better financial security. And so, and it's just grown from there. So I would definitely say that. And I mean, who doesn't want something to fall back on as far as income possibilities go? I would talk to them about, how there's been many times where I've woken up and I've gotten a website order that's been $200 or $100, and that's income that I didn't necessarily work for. I may have planted the seed a long time ago and now I'm getting paid on it. And so there's a lot of things I talk about as far as financial goes.
And I think now more than ever, people are going to realize how important it is to have other avenues of income, because yes, people have lost jobs before. People have been laid off, but not like this. This is, in our lifetime, okay? Not in our lifetime. This is kind of unprecedented. And I'm thinking of people like nail techs, and I'm just picking in my head, nail techs who cannot work now, massage therapists who cannot work now, hairstylists who cannot work now. What are they going to do? And a lot of them cannot collect unemployment.
That's right.
They can't.
So, how many of us like control? I bet everybody raises their hand. Y'all like to have control. Rosie, you all know that when you have your own business, a Mary Kay business, you can control things. Even right now, when there's not very much control in the world, I can control contacting my clients. And like Katie touched on, I feel like we're in the Brady Bunch picture. Like I can go like this, and like Katie touched on. So like Katie touched on, we have a residual income. And what does it mean to have a residual income? Because the people that you're sharing with may not know what a residual income is. So like Katie said, you get a reorder. You know what? When, like, I just had one of my girlfriends, it's like, oh my gosh, I totally need a charcoal mask, and right now is the perfect time because I'm home all the time. And so I'm going to be masking 4 times this week. And so I said, okay, fantastic. And so she'd already ordered that before. So a residual income means the first time I did a facial with her and shared that product, it took me about probably an hour. I invested an hour of time into her. And the next time that I earned money on the sale of that product, I didn't spend that time. All I did was deliver it. And so that residual income is that coming back, it's coming back, it's coming back, it's coming back. And so when you take great care of people, they love this product. And so it is a residual form of income.
Absolutely. Okay. Thank you, ladies. Let's go ahead. Let's go on to the next one. And it's mentorship. Mentorship.
A good one.
That's a really good one.
What have you, okay, so I heard you ladies say it's a good one. Why? Well, how have you benefited by being mentored in Mary Kay?
Well, I feel
How
like
have I not benefited from being
like who hasn't? Like I feel like with Mary Kay and just with you, with Katie, with Rosie, with even my peer like consultants in general, like when you're reaching out and asking for advice or for help or whatever, and then you are having somebody that's reaching out to you and asking you questions and pushing you, it makes you better, it makes you stronger, it pushes you more, it makes you get out of your comfort zone more, it makes you confident in getting out of your comfort zone more. And I'm a super outgoing person, but like when I'm talking with Rosie and Rosie is saying something to me, or when you're saying something to me, it really gets me thinking about how can I challenge myself more? How can an extroverted person get themselves more out of their comfort zone? And we need to be out of our comfort zone more, like, because I get comfortable and complacent, and it's just a true thing, you know? And for me, like, I need to know that somebody understands where I'm at and what I'm going through. I need somebody that isn't going to let me make an excuse, you know? Like the other day, Rosie asked how I was doing, and I'm like, I'm not doing good. I don't know how I'm going to be a stay-at-home mom, a homeschooling mom, and teach 24 kindergartners. Don't know. And I refuse to give up Mary Kay. How the heck is that going to work? And she gave me some good words of wisdom and just said, pray about it and just let's see what happens. And I shared that with Rosie. It's a long story, but randomly I ate at a fast food restaurant that I haven't ate since I had my 6-year-old. And I was in the parking lot, and this girl parked next to me, and I didn't say anything, like, didn't anything of it, smiled at her, and I went to pull out of the parking lot, and she's waving me down at my car and was asking about Mary Kay. And actually I'm having a conversation with her right now, but like, that was just an affirmation to me that, like, God's like, don't worry about it. You do the work. I got you. It's going to be fine. And so because I was able to reach out to my mentor and say, this is where I'm at, like, I don't know how this is going to work. And she's praying for me and encouraging me and, you know, and just pushing me to just do what I know I can. I mean, those mentorships are important. And then that makes me want to reach out to my consultants and check on them and make sure that I'm supporting them the best way that I can, you know?
Wow.
Very good, Trista. Thank you for sharing that with us.
That's so good.
Anybody else want to add to that?
I just want to add one thing: accountability. When I asked Jana to be accountable to me, my business changed. And what I mean by that is I asked her to touch base with me daily, or me call her daily. It was, you know, one or the other. Usually me calling her, but I was committed to that. And seriously, the face of my business changed. And what I mean by that is how I viewed it, how my family viewed it, how I treated it. It was not just a hobby, it was a business, and it was a business that was growing. My mindset shifted. I was affirming myself every day, and that is foreign to me. It's very hard for me to do that consistently. And that was a big deal. So the mentors that I have known and met and grown close to in Mary Kay, just like what Trista said, with friends that I always say came right out of my starter kit, I would not have met them in my belief. I would not have met them otherwise. I've learned from them. I hope that they've learned maybe something from me, but the mentors that I've received have been tremendously positive in my life.
And I just want to add, you know, being mentored, you know, by Jana, by some of the national sales directors, by some of the top sales directors, honestly, it kind of opened up a new world for me. In that I'm reading things I probably never would have read. I'm thinking in a way I probably never would have thought. And these are good changes. I've got confidence that I never thought I would have, not like this. I don't even know, I don't really know how to explain it, but I just know that I'm not the same person that I was 5 years ago. And not that I was a bad person 5 years ago. I was a very good person, but I've changed, but it's been in a positive way. And, you know, it's kind of like, I know I talk about teaching a lot, but when you put kids, you know, one child in with a group of kids that act a certain way, even if that child does not act that way, eventually they will start to act that way because they see what the others are doing. And that's kind of how the mentorship in a way works. In kind of a school way. I have to relate everything, but either way, but that's kind of how it is, you know. And it doesn't mean you're fakey. It just means you start to see the world from a different perspective, I think. So
I have to interject here real quick. like you said, like when you're surrounded by different people, you do start to do different things. But you guys went to another level, and that was because of your willingness. And so I just wanted to point that out to everyone, because it doesn't just happen automatically. It's your commitment and your willingness that you ladies were willing to do. And
I have to say this really quick. I just ate a piece of Dove chocolate, and it says, "Your vibe attracts your tribe."
That's awesome. And you guys, one of the things as I'm thinking about this, as everybody's telling their stories, maybe you've not experienced this key mentorship yet. But if somebody says mentorship, I want mentorship, you can call on these stories from these individuals and say, I've known people that this has totally changed their life because of their relationship with their mentor. And another thing is that I can really see when you're sharing the Mary Kay opportunity with someone, and if you do have a relationship with your sales director, which you should, when you say, you know what, I really look up to Katie because I really look up to Rosie because, she's understanding, but she's kind in love, but she's straight with me enough to hold me to the fire to make sure that I'm reaching my goals. And so you're putting them in a place of reverence, maybe, or not like people are bowing, but I'm not trying to say that, but I'm trying to say that this new person that might be a new consultant comes in and automatically wants that connection with their sales director. That's powerful and important, because when you can create that bridge and they're having that conversation and that learning experience with that leader, that's when great things happen, and you want the best for your team members. So, okay.
All right. Thank you. Let's go on to the next one. Sense of purpose. I kind of had to think about this a while. I think that some of these things, before I let somebody else talk, a lot of these things are interwoven, and you'll see that. I think they're just using, it's kind of like semantics, I think. But sense of purpose, I think that's going to be something that's going to appeal to a lot of people. So I'd like to hear from some other people, how would you relate that to your Mary Kay purpose, to your Mary Kay business?
Well, that's why I joined Mary Kay. I mean, I joined Mary Kay because I was tired of doing the same thing all the time. Like, not that being a mom and a teacher and a wife is a bad thing, but I felt like I was just in a rut, and I needed to have a purpose to be an impactor, like changing lives. And anybody I come in contact with that I've met with Mary Kay, I am still contacting them. I'm still communicating with them. And they have, not only have I helped impact their lives, but they have changed my life. They have made me better. And so I feel like not only was I seeking to try to change somebody else's life and impact them, I didn't know how much God wanted myself to be impacted through Mary Kay and through the people that he put in my life through Mary Kay. Like, I am a completely different woman from 2.5 years ago, completely different. I mean, I can't imagine not having the relationships that have, and I'm sorry, but I'm sorry I'm tearing up about this, but that have changed my soul in that, and how God has used that to mold me into a person that really sees people and that really wants to help people better themselves, and see themselves the way God sees them and not the way the world sees them. And I think that that's a huge part of Mary Kay, and that's one of the reasons I'm so grateful that God brought Mary Kay into my life. So that's my thing.
You were one of the first people I thought of, sense of purpose, because I've heard you tell your story before, Trista. And, I've heard you say that you had prayed for something like this, not necessarily Mary Kay, but you had prayed you had prayed for something more than what you had. Not that you weren't grateful for what you had, but you felt that there was more
Right.
out there.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, when you're a Mary Kay, you have to have a servant heart. I mean, there's no doubt about it. This is a service. And so anybody else want to add to that? Okay, let's go ahead and go on to, I know everybody should have something to say about this. I'm going to call you on this one. Positive female friendships.
Okay, you guys, it's my turn, and I can't stop because, okay, I have family members that are really, really negative. I grew up in a zone, and I'm not saying all of them. But I am saying that there are people that are just, they want to blame people. There are people that, isn't that irritating? People that never take responsibility for their actions. That just irritates me. And so honestly, being surrounded, when I went into my first Mary Kay meeting and they were hugging and singing, and I'm like, this is weird. And then I sat there for a minute, and then I came back the next week and I was like, this is nice. This is nice for people to just genuinely not be gossiping about one another, not be talking about one another. Society wants us to do those types of things, but the Mary Kay world calls us to a higher standard. And so the higher that I've went in this Mary Kay business, I've started meeting people that have the same desires that I have. And so who is that in your life? Invite them into our tribe, because they will love the pink bubble of friendships. You know, friends like that I've made, like my friend Allison and Cleta and Brenda Finner and Donna Driscoll, and I could go on and on. But when you are in this business and you make relationships with people that when you go through a trial, instead of saying, girl, I've been there too, let's just wallow in it for a week, they say, I love you and you're better than that. So don't let that bother you. And they extend a hand and they pull you up. And that is priceless, my friends. This last car that we earned, I told Cleta, I said, Cleta, I'm committed to becoming a Cadillac unit and not just earning a Cadillac, because I've already earned 2 Cadillacs. But the difference is anybody can earn something, but to create a Cadillac unit is a different story. And that is something that's sustainable. Even if something like I had to step away from my business, it should be sustainable. And so she told me with 4 days to go in the month, I said, we're $11,000 away. She said, let me tell you something. She said, you're in the wrong car right now. Get back in that Cadillac unit. You're a Cadillac director. You've got a Cadillac unit, and that is where you belong, my sister. And that slapped me around just enough. I said, you're right. And that's all I said. The decision was made. I said, you're right. And we did it. And so you guys, the positive female friendships, that's what we all need. I don't care who you are. Y'all need it.
Amen.
For sure.
I will say this, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, Rosie. I, at one point, was looking back and thinking, why do I not really find myself wanting to spend time with my friends outside of Mary Kay? And then I would guilt myself, and that's so silly, but we're human. But anyway, I have made the most amazing friendships through this business. Like I said before, people that I don't think I ever would have crossed paths with. A lot of the ladies that I am now very close to. I don't know how we would have crossed paths. There's a sister consultant in the area who we got married within a month of each other. Our children are 2 months apart. We are all her husband's friends with my husband, and she's a beauty consultant in a different unit. She lives almost an hour away from me, And she is one of the most positive people in my circle of influence. And I talk to her almost every day. And yeah, I mean, Jana, I don't feel like I ever had like a lot of negativity growing up, but now that I've been around the possibility of the positivity, you kind of look at things a little bit differently. Do you guys know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Yeah.
From a different lens.
Yes, you have a completely different lens, and you basically just like, in my own experience, I choose not to have certain conversations that not too long ago I would have gone ahead and have had, because I know it's just not necessary. And that's because I choose a different lane because of the influences that I've had in my life and through my business.
So true.
Absolutely. Okay. Let's go ahead and go on to did we do that? I'm confused now. I'm getting excited about the next one. Use my personal strengths. About that.
Rosie, you share that.
I was just going to say, I should jump right in here. So to be real honest with you, when I came into Mary Kay, I wasn't going to sell anything. I was going to use, just do personal use. And obviously that changed. But when I started really considering becoming a director, I was very excited about it, but I was very apprehensive about it as well. Because in my former life as a kindergarten teacher, I can say, and I don't mean to sound like I'm full of myself, but I can say very confidently that I was a really good teacher. Was I the best teacher? No. I was really good. I mean,
I'm the best teacher.
I'm being, just the best, because I've taught her everything. No, just kidding. So I knew I was, and not to be, but the school I was at, a couple times we did have 2 kindergartens, and it was almost awkward because I always said my reputation was way better than I really was, because parents would ask for me and they would get ticked if they got put in the other teacher's class. And that makes it very awkward, anyway, but I knew I was good at that. And so then, I don't think that being a consultant was, I think I had confidence once I got going in there, because it was another form of teaching and I was comfortable in that. But when I moved up right before I became a director, a lot of fear set in, a lot of just lack of confidence, mostly fear, because I just didn't think I could do that. I didn't know how to be a director. I thought it should come with this book, and it should say, if the consultant says this, then the director says this, and it's just one of those things. It's kind of like student teaching. You have to go with what tools you have, and then you just have to do it. You have to do it. It's got to be an experience. You just can't create an experience. You have to go through it. And but one way I think that I use my personal strength is through having been a teacher. And because now I feel like, well, I teach skincare and color cosmetics. I teach and mentor consultants. So I'm using those strengths in that area. I think having been a teacher and becoming a director, in my mind, I remember thinking, what else could I do? All I've ever done is be a teacher. And if anybody else had said that, I probably would have slapped them and said, what are you talking about? Look at all the skills you have, but I didn't think that about myself. But when I stopped and realized, that there were a lot of skills I had that were very, very important in any occupation, but especially in being a Mary Kay sales director. Anyway, so that's kind of my take about using my personal strengths. But I will say, don't be afraid of only using your personal strengths, because then you won't grow. And I think that I have grown through the using my personal strengths. It's branched in other areas where I've been able to grow as well. So
right. And I think that on this, if somebody says personal strengths and you're kind of unsure, something that you can do is just say, well, one of my strengths is that I love the products. and, you know, I'm able to, you know, be influential, or I'm an influential person. I love to help people. And so I found that, you know, whatever your strengths are, you can really work in your zone. You know what I mean? So, and Rosie, you've done that so well.
Okay, let's go ahead and go on to help make a change in my community. And I'm gonna start off just because I'm thinking of something not necessarily I've done individually, but as a unit and Jana's unit, and we, you know, having been mentored by Jana, we continued it when I became a director. And it's a small thing, but yet it's not. It's every year when we collect and distribute the hand lotions to the seniors, you know, the impact in the community that our unit has. You know, every year now when I call, they're excited, and they're like, we just love when you come, you know. And the activities directors I'm talking about, the people who work at staff at the nursing home, and that's just one small.
But I think,
you know,
but I think that's a big deal, because like if somebody says that and you tell them we do community events, I think that that's a big deal.
Right.
Well, and also our Mary Kate, the foundation in general gives back to the community greatly, like, and what they've done just in Manhattan and Salina.
Right.
For sure. And I think, you know, tying that into, you know, like the when I wash my face with, when you wash your face with Mary Kay, you know, this happens and that happens, and tying it into the foundation, and being able to use those examples of the crisis centers, you know, that are, you know, 20, 30 miles away, or right in your own backyard, you know, because we have proof. We know that happened. We didn't just hear about it, you know, so totally.
And I like to talk about how I've used my business before as a mission field to give back to, because our church does a lot of missions work, and we support a lot of missionaries around the world. And I've done it before where I've given back to one missionary family in particular, and just taken like a portion of my profits, because that's what's near and dear to my heart. And so in turning that into talking to someone about the opportunity, I say, so what is close to your heart? What could you be making a difference with the cash that you're making, you know, with the profits that you're making? Like 10% of your profits is going to go towards, you know, March for Dimes or whatever it might be. So I've talked a lot about that at parties and things like that, especially in May when we have the product about the foundation, the Mary Kay Ash Foundation. So there's so many ways. I have another consultant in our unit who actually, as soon as she became a consultant, she was like, I want to do this for, I want to do some fundraising for my kids, because they were going to travel to nationals for choir. And now, of course, you know, that's canceled and all those sad things. But she raised I believe she raised some cash with that. So I don't know. It's just that's really exciting, where you see somebody get on fire about how they can connect their business to touching another's life in the community, or giving back in some way, because we have the ability to do that. And that's so awesome.
Absolutely. Thank you for sharing that, Katie. We're going to kind of speed things up a little bit. Let's go look at the next one. Oh, my own business. I think we've already kind of talked about that. We've talked about the benefits in that, and also the multiple streams of income. I think that was kind of addressed at the beginning when we talked about how important it is, especially now, to have the multiple streams of income, so that when one thing might tank, you know, you still have other avenues of income. Thank you for raising your hand, Jana.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for calling on me. Okay, and then in Mary Kay, we do have multiple ways that you can make money. We make money through the sale of the product, through building your team, and also through digital online sales now. You know, and then our car program. So you can tell them that there are different sources and different ways, because so many companies are just recruit heavy. If you're not recruiting, you are not winning. So anyway.
Exactly. I think we kind of already talked, I'm kind of jumping ahead. We kind of talked about being empowered, unless somebody wants to add anything to that. An environment empowering women. And then a company with global responsibility. We touched on that a little bit. I think that would be a good chance or a good time to bring up, we don't do it anymore, but how we used to collect the little shells, the clam shells, you know what I mean, the little plastic things. And Mary Kay planted a tree for what, every 10? Was it every 10, Jana? I don't remember.
We're not doing that anymore?
No.
They hit the goal.
Oh, what do you do with all of them? I have a bunch of them.
You can still take them to the studio because
Okay.
Rachel takes them to the recycling place.
Oh, okay.
We're still recycling, so if you want to take them to your own recycling place.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll do that.
Okay.
But that, the 1 millionth tree was the one, planted in front of the new manufacturing center. So that was kind of the culmination of that. And then the last one, or no, we talked about that. We talked about positive community tribe. That's what we started with, right? Now I'm getting confused. Okay.
That's okay.
Okay, come back, Jana, because you're on. It's your turn.
Sorry, you know what? I'll tell you, there's just a strategic malfunction because my family, they're taking their clothes off in the garage now because they've been working out cutting trees. And I'm like, you can't walk through my office naked. So, so if you don't mind, I'm going to tell them just to hold on a second.
Or stop your video for just a second.
Yeah, I'm going to stop.
I know, I was going to say, yeah. You
I've
can
been
video
muting my
out.
children out. You've probably seen my mom.
I'm going to stop my video here in just a moment, but I am going to talk about closing and how to close out after you've had a conversation with these ladies about this, okay? Hold on just 1 second, okay?
Do your video too.
While Jana's doing that, closing is so important, and I know she's going to touch on that, but you can have all the greatest answers, but if you don't ask the question at the very end,
Yeah, that's so true.
That's right.
up and down saying, I want to do it, you have to pull the trigger, and I think that's what Jana's going to talk about.
If you're driving by on Highway 24 right now, you're going to see some streakers behind my house because they're going to the back door. Oh my gosh. Okay, so totally fun. Okay, so all right, so you guys, if you want to use these little guides, we posted these on there, and I love it because it's got the starter kit on the back and all of the starter kit contents, and then I laminated mine.
Yeah, it's nice.
With the starter kit on one side and then the interview guide on the other side, and I'll probably just have them use dry erase marker when I'm sitting there next to them or whatever, or we can take notes, but you can do it however you like. But at the bottom here, it says on a scale of 1 to 10, what's your interest level in becoming a beauty consultant? And so if they haven't circled anything, I would say, so after we've had a conversation about this, where do you think you're at on a scale of 1 to 4? And then have her circle that, and then ask the questions. Don't just say, oh, okay, that sounds good. What sounds good? When, you have if your sales director calls you the next day, which what I want you to do is I want to make sure that you're taking a snapshot of this and sending it to your independent sales director so we can do a count on how many career talks that we're doing in your unit, on your team, and in our future national area, okay? So take a snapshot. And so if your sales director says, oh, you talked to Susie Q and she was a 3, what's next? And you're like, I don't know. So what you have to do is you have to ask the questions, and you have to say things like, okay, so what do you think makes you a 1? Why do you think you're at that level? And she's going to tell you why she doesn't want to do this. And if she's just like, I hate people and I'm not a nice person, then I would say, I get it. That's fine. If that's who you be and that's where you want to stay, I'm always here for you. And I want to take great care of you as my client. Okay. If this ever pops up in your heart again, I would be happy to, tell you more about the Mary Kay opportunity. If she's a 2 and you say, so what makes you 2? What would keep you, or what would put you at that level? What would keep you from doing something like this? She's going to tell you, and then that's called an objection. And then we're going to talk to you about how you can overcome those objections, because overcoming an objection doesn't mean that you're winning an argument. Overcoming an objection means you're helping her overcome that hurdle. Okay. You're helping her get from the beginning, the starting line to the finishing line, and you're helping her be successful in something, okay? So we want to make sure that if she has some unclear expectations of what this looks like I've heard some people say, well, I like my job. Fantastic. Keep it. I know people that are independent sales directors that still do an 8 to 5, and that's okay. So you don't have to quit your job to be a Mary Kay consultant. But anyway, we'll get to those overcoming objections here in just a moment. If there are 3, I would say you're so close to a 4. Is there any reason why you wouldn't consider doing this? And the reason why I say, is there any reason you wouldn't consider, or is there any reason why you're not wanting to do this at this time? That's because they can say no, and it's a positive for you. You know what I mean? No, there's no reason why. Or if they have a reason, they'll tell you the reason, and then you can overcome the objection. If they say, I'm a 4, I would say, awesome. The next step, and maybe make a note about this, the next step is going over the online agreement. It takes a few minutes is all, and we'll get your starter kit coming, okay? Close with okay, and sign them up. Get on your phone and go on Mary Kay in Touch, go into the Business Tools tab and click Online Agreements and sign her up. And that means she'll be on your team. Okay, now let's talk about overcoming objections. What I'd like y'all to do is I would like you to give myself or Rosie or Katie, give us an objection that you think you might hear, or maybe it was an objection that you had to the Mary Kay opportunity, and we're going to give you a way to overcome that within a few words. Okay? All right. Who's going to stump the teachers?
I won't stump you, but this is the girl I'm talking to that I met in the parking lot of that restaurant. She actually was going to join Mary Kay, but then she got talked out of it apparently by her mom because she is a senior in college and her, wanting to focus mainly on finishing out graduating and not having the stress of another job.
Is she working another job at all?
I don't think she is. I think she's focusing on, as far as I know about her, her husband just deployed. She's newly married. She lives on post and she's finishing out school. So.
Wow. So when you tell me all of those things, what I hear you saying is that she could probably use a really good support system in this area. Mm-hmm. And what mother wouldn't want their daughter to have a good support system in this area? Mm-hmm. And what I'm also hearing you say is that this is something that's been on her heart. Mm-hmm. And so what I would say is, Susie Q, I hear this from time to time, and your mother has good intentions, and I bet that she's probably trying to be protective of you. And mm-hmm. she knows that you have goals and dreams of finishing this. But this is what I also know for sure, that God probably put Mary Kay on your heart, not mm-hmm. hers. Because God puts different dreams in different people's hearts. And so she probably just doesn't get that right now. Do you think that's pretty accurate? So do you think if you gave this a try and you were happy, do you think your mom would be happy for you?
It's good. I like it. I'm going to tell her that.
There you go. What other objections do you think y'all would have heard or would hear? How about no time?
That's always one,
Always.
That's one of the biggest ones. But I've got something very short and sweet and to the point. I always say, so if time is the only thing holding you back, if you tried this business, if you gave it a try and you just did it a little bit and didn't take very much time, but you were making money and you were loving it, do you think you'd find more time for it? Mm-hmm. The answer has been 100% of the time, yes. And so then I say, okay, what else would stop you? I mean, why not? Is there any reason you wouldn't give it a try at least? What other objection?
Okay, how about I'm on disability and can't make that much money?
Okay. Well, how does it feel living in a zone where you can only make a certain amount of money? Does that feel restrictive to you?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, one of the things that I love about Mary Kay is we have choices. And
Right.
my independent sales director, Jana, thought that she couldn't make more than $30,000 a year because that's what she was making at her full-time job. And she tried Mary Kay. She actually gave it a try and was working like doing 3 parties a week. And, you know, within a few years, she tripled her income. And so I love that with this business, there are no limits. And so, you know, if you start working your Mary Kay business and you find that you can replace that disability income and then some, how would that feel?
Exactly.
Wouldn't that be empowering?
I think, and I've talked to some people who are on disability, and it's definitely a fear factor. You know,
Yeah.
they know guaranteed X amount, they're going to take a chance. And I tell them, you know, to talk to their, I don't know what the word is, you know, their case manager or whatever, because most of the time they can earn something. It's not like they can't earn anything, you know.
Right.
So, and every case is different. So that's why I would not give a specific answer. You know, I'm not talking about what Jana said, but I would not give a specific answer like, oh, you can earn $300 a month and it won't affect you. That's when she needs to talk to her case manager. But yeah, start off small and then, you know, hey,
See if you like it. What if you like it? What if you don't like it? Then you don't, then it's like a non-issue.
Right.
Well,
What
one of the things too, Jana, and unfortunately, there's a couple of us that are here that are drawing Social Security or are getting close to drawing Social Security. That can be a little bit touchy in there because you hit there's a dollar limit you can make, and Social Security is okay with it. But once you go 1 penny past that dollar amount,
Mm-hmm.
then it's like,
Right. Well, this is what I would, I would make sure that your accountant obviously would know those things and that you would need to know the facts and your accountant would need to know the facts. And then, but the beauty of being self-employed is there's lots of deductions as well. So yeah, there's going to be a lot
Yes, there is.
going to be playing into that. But again, I want to give people hope that really my hope is that you make so much money that you don't have to rely on Social Security because they sometimes don't offer enough to create the lifestyle that you want to create. And just because you're 65 years old doesn't mean you're done living or done traveling or done supporting the people you want to support in your life. So, okay, what else? How about, I don't know that my husband would be supportive or, you know, I have to ask his permission. And I would say, do you usually ask his permission to spend $100 at Target? Is that something you guys usually talk about in advance? And if she says, well, no, I would say, okay, well, I found that this is the same thing. You're going to get $400 worth of product for $100. Do you think he'd be mad? Because I mean, from my stance, I told my husband a month after I bought the starter kit, and I said, oh yeah, I forgot to tell you, I started Mary Kay business. And he's like, oh, I'm like, yeah, I'm going to make half price. I'm going to buy my stuff for half price for the rest of my life. Why would I not do that? That's crazy. So does your husband want you to save money? I don't know.
And my husband asks, did you place your monthly order?
Right?
Right.
So men need a few things to stay happy and money and food, and you know what that third one is. So you know,
No.
No, what are you talking about?
more about that. I think we want to dig a little deeper on that.
oh, you do. Okay.
Oh boy.
What other objections do y'all have? What do you think?
I'm throwing out because I think I hear this a lot. I can't sell things. I don't want to bug my friends. I don't want to, you know, have to ask them to buy stuff.
I've heard that one.
Well, this is what I would say. I would say, thank God. Thank goodness, Rosie, or you know, whoever you're talking to. Thank goodness that you are not a salesperson, because you know what? I have found in this business that women love to shop, but they don't like to be sold to. And so let me ask you this. If you find a product that you think is amazing and will benefit other people, do you tell them about it? Rosie, do you do that? Do you tell other people about stuff that
restaurants, movies.
Right, things like that. Great. Okay, so what that means to me is that you're an influential woman. And influential women really are more successful in this business because people trust them, and they're not salespeople because nobody wants to hear from a used car salesman. Okay, how's that sound?
And another thing that you know, this, I feel like this is a conversation you and I had about 4 years ago. Another thing I remember you saying to me, besides being an influencer, you said, after we had done a couple parties, or I had been to a couple parties, and you said, did you feel like I was forcing myself on you? Did you feel I was making you feel like you had to buy something, you know? And when I saw it that way, I'm like, no, I didn't feel pressured at all, you know? And I think when they realize that helps. So.
That is another one of my lines. Yes. You know, how did I come off to you? Have I ever come off to you like a salesperson? Like I was trying to sell you something or trying to make money off of you? So, all right. What else? Anything else, ladies? Okay. Well, I think that if you ever have any objections that you're having problems overcoming, contact your independent sales director. She's got amazing words, and if she doesn't have amazing words, she'll figure it out. So, okay, next we're going to move on to Katie. And Katie,
Yes.
can you share with us how we can incorporate using this type of interview, like using these bubbles on career calls, like if we're doing phone calls or online FaceTime, group marketing parties, and different avenues? Can you do that?
How to use the sheet?
Right.
Or how to use the, yeah. Okay. So
this.
We're gonna get that sheet.
So I have I've reached out to my unit, and I've encouraged them to save this on their phone as a marketing tool and something that they can send to their prospects before we hop on a call with them, because that's what we're going to be doing. So what I've been telling them, and I believe it was from the conversation that you and I and Rosie had, but a couple of the ladies that I talked to and reached out to that are wanting to promote themselves this month, I said, I want you to look at this. I call it the bubble sheet too, Rosie. I want you to look at this bubble sheet, and I want you to pick out the top 3 things. I'm just treating them like I would treat a possible recruit. I'm going to pick out the top 3 things that, you know, you love about this business, that you've seen in your own business, or why you wanted to start. And then we're going to talk about that so that it can kind of help you when we actually talk to your friend that we're going to be, giving the opportunity to. Other ways that I'm excited to use this is once we actually get to touch each other again, in appropriate ways. In appropriate ways, not one word. I am excited to laminate it like what you have, Jana, and to pass one around to each person that's at the skincare class. Or I know that Rosie had the great idea of printing them off in color and doing like work, like a worksheet or like a sheet for them to have, because I feel like having something tangible is really awesome. I had a skincare class a couple of weeks ago, and I had the acronym Mary Kay that I kind of switched over to. I had been using that, but I didn't really have anything to give them. And I'm a very visual person. And so when I see something like this, it's like people that look like they're having fun, and it has all of these very positive, exciting things of why wouldn't I want to choose something like this for my life? I love that kind of stuff. So I'm very excited to use this as a tool. But really, more than just a tool, I'm excited to focus on, like, we're basically given topics, ladies, as to why our business is amazing and why this company is amazing and this opportunity. Because I know that in the past, I've been on a sharing call where I've been, I've gotten stumped maybe by one of their questions or what have you. And I know that this bubble sheet would have helped with that. I also love that it shows the Mary Kay starter kit and what is in it. Recently, like within the last couple of weeks, I've had people that are like, well, what all actually comes in it? And I did my research now, and I know exactly what comes in it. But the first 2 times I was like, Why can you not tell them what all comes in it, Katie? I should know that. Because there are people that want to know. And so I like that it lines it out there. I like that it gives a picture, because it helps to foster and feed their excitement, and show them what's possible. So the first way is sending it out, like saving it as a picture on your phone, sending it to your unit members, your team members, making sure they have it on their phone so that they can share it with their people, and then printing it off in color, and having it ready for your in-person appointments, and being comfortable talking to each one of these bubbles, or at least have an idea of what they mean, and being able to talk to them. Hopefully you guys took some good notes tonight. I know that I took some really good notes tonight, but I'm really excited to use this as a tool.
All right. I think it's going to be an awesome tool. And you guys, who do you have on your mind that we could share the Mary Kay opportunity with? If you don't feel confident in doing it by yourself, do a 3-way call with your independent sales director and get this picture, the one that doesn't have anything else on it, just has the bubbles, and text this to the people that say, yeah, I'd help you out. Say, great. Okay, what I want you to do is pick 3 of those bubbles that really intrigue you or that really touch your heart, and let me know which ones that touch you most. And then contact your sales director and tell her who you're going to be sharing with, or schedule that sharing appointment with her. All right, well, we're going to go ahead and wrap it up with a challenge. Who's ready for a challenge?
Woo!
Woohoo! All right, we know Trista's ready for a challenge. Okay. So this is what I want to challenge you to do. I want to challenge you to contact 5 of your current clients, 5 favorite, amazing, positive, powerful. And if at all possible, maybe these people have been successful in another area of life. Okay. So ask them if they would help with a training call this week for a free gift. And maybe your free gift's going to be a mini hand cream because everybody's hands are dry right now, or whatever you've got. Maybe it's just going to be a little sample with a piece of candy, whatever the case may be, but ask them if they'd be willing to help. The consultant with the most calls done with the director this week, either director will be on the call doing the call with you, or the director will be observing on the call. Because what we're listening for is we're listening for you overcoming, talking about the Mary Kay opportunity, overcoming objections, and asking for them, is there any reason why you wouldn't give this a try? That's called, that we used to call that pulling the trigger. That's like, you know, you've got to ask the question and then be quiet and listen. Okay, so whoever does 3, at minimum 3, but whoever does the most over 3 career talks this week with their independent sales director wins a prize. Hooray! Woo! I got a prize, Ben. I'll be giving prizes. Or I can talk to sales directors. We can pool some cash, and maybe we can make it a cash prize, or
Cash.
or a gift certificate prize. I know. And then the consultant with the most new team members also wins a prize. And the minimum on that is you have to have at least one new team member. Okay? Starting now.
Katie already got one.
That doesn't count. It's right now. Right now. And directors can't win the prize. Okay? But directors will win bragging rights when their unit members are the winners. Okay?
That's right.
I know. So anyway, ladies, it's been a joy being on here. Go ahead, Rosie.
I wanted to throw this out there because I know we used to have one on the website, but we don't have that anymore. If you just Google overcoming objections, Mary Kay, like the first one that popped up is Leah Laughlin, who's a national sales director. And, you know, you can click on that and it's going to tell you if she says, I'm too busy, then you say this. And honestly, you guys, when I first became a director, if I was not doing the call in person, I had these objections set up so that when that person said whatever, I could go, well, you know, and that's how you learn. But that way you can have something tangible in front of you, or you can study it. If you're going to be face to face, you can kind of look at it before you go, so you have an idea of what to say when they give a certain objection. I think Leah Laughlin, I can't imagine one being much better. I mean, I think that's probably a good one.
that's, and talk to your independent sales director. You know, if there's like whoever be careful who you follow, because there are some people that you'll follow that'll try to sink you into paying them money for materials and stuff like that. And we do not play that. That is not.
It's just a sheet you can, I'm not saying follow necessarily, but just, this is a sheet I think is credible.
But
you
Leah
know,
Laughlin is good, and she does things the Mary Kay way. So, but they're
ask you for money for their stuff
people,
on.
Yeah. So just make sure that you're talking to your sales director about, oh my gosh, I found this tool, because it might be a tool that she wants you to share with the whole unit.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, all right. Sounds great, ladies. Well, you know what? I just appreciate you all getting on here tonight and being committed to your business and supporting your independent sales director and your team's goals for this month and your individual goals. And you're going out there and rocking it. So, you know what? Let's go out there and let's spread some hope to this world. Let's spread some joy and positivity, and let's help people feel calm and secure in this world by offering them an opportunity that is unparalleled. Okay? All right. Woohoo! Have an awesome week.
Yay.
Hey, we'll be on next week. New topic. Have a fantastic week.
Okay. All right, ladies. Thanks for being.
Bye.
Bye-bye.